Yeah, say anything, first thing come to mind, off the top of their head. Yeah, it was definitely it was a different time, different life.
What was the first song you made with Dre?
The first song I made with Dre was it's actually on me and Dre, the Dre Diggs album. It's called Romped Out.
Okay.
It was called Romped Out, and it was a song when I got out the feds. Dre had already been out. Dre was out like 5 years. I had to do 10. He did 5 years, so he was already out. He was back on his shit. You know, he had shit out. So I had just came home, and when I first came home, he came and got me from the halfway house. We went to Hot August Night immediately.
It was lit.
The same day I got released from the halfway house was the first night of Hot August Night of that year. It was 2001. And so he picked me up from the halfway house and we went straight to Hot August Night. Crazy. That's when I realized how big Dre had got. Because prior to that, Dre had never did but one show that was halfway big, and that was the Fresno show. We went to jail. So I get out and I go to Hot August Night with Dre. I just get out of prison and we walking down the street and everybody's, Macdre, oh my God, that's Macdre. And I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm looking around, these is white kids.
Right.
These Mexicans.
How do you know Dre?
I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? We from the crash, you know. When we went to prison, Dre had a little buzz and it was just from tapes. Right. It wasn't that big. So here it is. I come home 10 years later and I'm walking down the street with him and all these young kids just, oh my God, that's Macdre, oh Macdre.
That's crazy.
And I'm like looking like, wow.
That blew your mind up.
Yeah, like,
crazy.
You a rapper.
Right.
He like, yeah, this shit different. He like, we fucking with it. So when I seen that automatically changed my passion. I'm like, okay, this is what we doing then. Because at first I come on like, we just did 10 years in prison. Like, what we doing? What's the move? How we gonna get on? Get us some dope. We back hitting licks. What we doing? What we gonna do? So when I got home and I seen that he was really Macdre the rapper, I fell in line. Like, bro, look, I'm gonna play my part. You do this rap shit. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do to keep us on our game too. So I just fell in line, you know what I mean? I fell in line. I watched him and took his advice on the rap game, you know what I mean? He would tell me what to do with the music because I wanted to do music too. So he would give me advice on the rap shit. And of course, you know, he was my big homie on the rap shit. I was his big homie on the street shit. So, and that's what it came down to. Like, we was friends. Like, he wasn't my boss. None of that shit. A lot of people think, oh, that was the head of the romper. He was not the head of the romper room crew or none of that shit. We didn't rock like that. You feel me? He was the Cuddy. He was the most popular member in the romper room crew, but he was not the head of the romper room crew. We was all a crew. We ran together. Sure. We ate together. We did all the shit. I would argue with Dre just as quick as I would argue with Kilo, and Dre didn't get the last word. I didn't get the last word. It was whoever. We
was like brothers.
We were brothers. That's how it was. So a lot of people had got that misperception that he was the boss or he was y'all. No, that's not what he was. He was our friend, and we rocked out together and we looked out for each other. Our job was to make sure he stayed out of trouble and stayed on his rap shit to get us to the top. Right. And then I dropped the ball when we caught the case because it really was my fault. The informant was the nigga that I fucked with who got us all caught up. So
who got y'all caught up?
It was a foreman named Corey Dunn. He was a car thief nigga. So when that happened, you know, of course I'm gonna feel bad. Dre had a deal on the table. Dre could have signed with Chive Records, but then he catch a case with his homeboys, which is me, and he had a choice. They got at him like, bro, you know, just tell us that Kilo and Diggs was robbing the banks. We already know it.
Right.
But we need you to go ahead and seal the deal. You go on home and do your deal and shit. And all the shit. He had a choice. He could have did it. He could have right then. He could have said, okay, come on, man. Give me the paper. I'm going to sign. Get me out of here. But he didn't. He stayed solid. He went to trial. He stayed on trial. We sat just like this, 3. Through a full trial. And him knowing that he never robbed nothing, knowing that he never was a part of nothing, robbing nothing. But his only crime was these 2 dudes is your homeboys and you know that they rob shit. There's different times you know that they rob shit and you didn't inform the police officer. It's called conspiracy. So Dre was convicted of conspiracy to commit armed bank robbery when they knew that he wasn't going to rob a bank. They just knew that he knew that his homeboys robbed banks.
Yeah.
So that's why I go so hard for Dre. People be like, man, you go hella hard for Dre. I'm like, bro, you wouldn't even understand the story.
Right.
He gave his life up for me when he had a solidified career And he could have easily said, you know what? Them niggas was finna rob that bank. Y'all know that. Y'all see the surveillance. I was in the car going to fuck with some bitches. I don't got time for this shit. Do what y'all gonna do, but let me go. He could have did that easy. Of course, he wouldn't have got away with that shit like that. But he could have did that shit easy. But instead he stayed real. We should talk about it after court. Cuddy, I'm staying down, bro. I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. Love you niggas. We going back to our pod. I'll see y'all on the next court date. Period. So with that being said, and especially in today's time, you can't get that kind of loyalty from a motherfucker that's finna get a ticket. The motherfucker telling the motherfucker get out of a ticket. Hey, that's your weed. You take the weed, man. I'm not taking it, man. I gotta go to work tomorrow. You know, these niggas is crazy. So yeah, he gave up his whole life behind his crew though. Like literally went to federal pen knowing that he had never ever planned a robbery, didn't have no parts of planning or nothing, just for simple his crew. So that's why Jay Diggs goes so hard for Macdre. That's why this shit stamped on my body. That's why I rep my nigga so hard from day one to the end of time. Yeah. Because I watched my nigga give up his life for me when he didn't have to.
Yeah. And that's why us as fans also, I feel like that's what makes Macdre so real, just because everybody knows the story about behind what happened with it, and it makes him certified. You feel me? And that's why Macdre shit word means a lot and raps mean a lot, because you know it's real shit. And he, like he said, real before rap.
Come on. What's one thing you miss about Dre? It could be anything from his personality, his swags, like just
being a funny dude he was, man. Dude was, a lot of people don't know he's a character. More than anything, like Dre was really probably could have been a comedian if he wasn't rapping. Like he was just a funny dude. Like we had different nicknames. Like even his nickname itself, like Mr. Furley. A lot of people don't know his nickname is Furley. Do you know who Mr. Furley is? There's some people at home that know who Mr. Furley is. Exactly. So if you know who Mr. Furley is, you know he was a goofy dude. That was Don Knotts. His whole character was goofy. Like Dre had a goofy side that a lot of people didn't know. And that's why we called him Furley. My other homeboy Ray named him that, because Dre would get in the car and knock over some shit and be like, man, what the fuck, Dre? Oh, cut him up, man. And so a lot of people don't know that side of it. They don't know where some of these characters come from. They don't know. So Furley was the Don Knotts. That was a comedian side of Dre. That was his funny, goofy side that a lot of people, the fans, didn't even know about. That you had to be a Cuddy to know what that came from. But so Dre was really a comedian. Me and Dre lived together. Like, see, that's a lot of people don't know that. When Dre passed away, we actually right here in this city, Sacramento, we had a condo. And we had a house. The condo was called Rappers Island. A lot of people think Hawaii is Rappers Island. Hawaii is not Rappers Island. Rappers Island was a condo complex out here in Sacramento. Yeah, we named it Rappers Island because everybody used to come over there and record with us. It's right on the top of my tongue.
That's why your baby mama's always crying.
Yeah.
Because people be at Rappers Island recording.
You ain't been to Rappers Island. Yeah, so that was the condo complex on the lake. What's the one got the little fucking paddle boats in the middle of it? Greenhaven on the Lake. That's what it is. Greenhaven on the Lake off the 5. So that was what Rappers Island. It was really a condo. We had a 3-bedroom condo that sat on a little lake, little man-made lake. So when you came outside the condo, it had the lake, it had paddle boats and all the shit. So everybody would come over. The few rappers that we did fuck with and did songs with, they would come over to the condo. We had the condo, we had a spare bedroom, that was the studio and all the shit. A lot of the shit that y'all hear was recorded in that condo. Wasn't even in no booth or nothing. Like just really in the condo with a mic and all the shit. And that was Rappers Island. That was Rappers Island. That's where Some Terrible everybody used to be at.
Some Terrible. Tell them I was done. Hey.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song you ever made with Dre?
My favorite Dre song would probably be Romped Out.
Romped Out?
Because it was the first song. It was the first song that we made when I came home. Like, we got a few songs, you know. But it was the first song that we made when I got out of prison. And I just was excited to be home in the studio and all the shit. And so when it was, you know, you niggas better watch out. Guess who just got out? Romper Room niggas is back. So that was just like our return. For me, that was the return of my life after 10 years in prison. So I was really back in the studio. I had been rapping for years, doing songs and shit in prison, performing in front of prisoners and all the shit. And then I finally was home in the studio making a real song with a real rapper. Like, damn, this shit finna really happen. So that would have been the one, because that was really just an exciting time in my life, fresh out of prison, for real.
Hell yeah. Everywhere you go, where Dig's at, you're always pushing the different types of products you got. You got the syrup. You got anything new coming 2020?
Well, for this year, more than anything, I'm concentrating more just my book and my movie. Them is the biggest movements. Of course, I do got my CBD syrup, THC syrup. I got flour. I got a whole movement.
How's that going?
Oh, it's great. It's excellent. You know, I just rebirthed the company. My company, Breeze Alive. BreezeAlive.com. Y'all tap in. That's my CBD company. You know, and that's just my movement right now. You know, I'm on the CBD movement real tough ever since losing my son. Behind that promethazine with codeine shit, you know, I don't fuck with that syrup shit, that other shit. So I go hard for the CBD shit. It's a whole nother movement that I've been pushing for the last 5 years, for real.
How many kids you got?
I got 10.
Oh well, you got the that's legacy right
10
there.
deep.
Come on.
10 deep, and then every last one of them name is J Diggs. Yeah, get that fucked up. Every last one of them.
Even the girls, huh?
Yep. Jayla, and Jada. I got 3 daughters, Jayla, and Jada. And you could tell their boyfriend that their daddy's a hater.
Oh, yeah.